Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome, everyone, to Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino. Ronnie Rantz here with you. Hope everyone had a great week. We've got a good show for you. It's joining us, Anthony Ranaudo, former LSU Tiger great and a member of that 09 National Championship team and former Major League Baseball player. And you can check out Anthony, of course, on Mondays on Jay Ducote's show and Talk 107.3 in Baton Rouge. How are you, big guy?
I'm good. Always good to be here with you, man. So
appreciate you taking the time to be here. A lot to get to this spring. I mean, so many different things going on. But being a baseball guy, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up some of the big topics of spring training, and that's the controversy surrounding the Houston Astros.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny, I was over in Houston for the LSU baseball series when they played over at the Shriners Classic last week, and we did the games on CST. And I caught myself so many times on the broadcast wanting to say something or
make a comment.
Catcher and a pitcher get mixed up on the sides.
Taking a jab or something.
They had so many people hitting trash cans all over the ballpark, But because we were in the Houston stadium and we were asked by the folks at the Shriners Classic not to really talk too much about it, we lived up to that. But this is a controversy that, much like the steroid stigma, which is stuck with Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and all these guys for the rest of their life, or Pete Rose with the gambling controversy, I have a feeling that regardless of what happens to the careers of Correa or Bregman or Altuve, that 1 or 2 years is always going to be a stain on their record.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it is, and I think there's always going to be that little asterisk, just like Barry Bonds, all those guys. I don't think anybody who knows baseball realizes, their talent. It doesn't take away from their talent. But I think it might take away from some of the sheer accomplishments, and especially the magnitude that they did those on. I think Altuve might be a little different story, and a little bit of Correa actually sold me in that one interview with Ken Rosenthal. That was really interesting for me to watch. And Altuve's been doing it for a few more years rather than this come up of young guys that had the hot year right when they won the championship. So unfortunately, I think it is going to stick with them. Obviously, this year is going to be a huge testament and show how they bounce back, and their careers are going to play that out for them, hopefully. And I say that because Bregman's obviously an LSU guy and he's involved in the mix of it. So from an LSU standpoint and from a fan standpoint and a baseball standpoint, you want them to kind of clear this, but unfortunately, it is a big stain, and I think it's going to be something that they're always going to have to deal with, throughout their career, unfortunately.
When you played in the major leagues, or even when you played overseas, was there much talk about sign stealing? Like when you guys were sitting in the dugout or in the bullpen, was there ever situations or serious conversations beyond just a joke that the other team may have a camera in center field, or there may be some sort of sign stealing system?
Yeah, not when I was playing. So my last year in the big leagues was 16, and then I played in Korea in 17. And like you said, there were some jokes, now and here and there. But there was never anything of serious or anything of substance, coming of that. And I thought the thing that bothers me the most, and this might be old school of me, but I thought there was a real art to having a bench coach or somebody on the team or staff that was really good at picking up signs or ticks or tells of a pitcher or a hit, different things like that. And that's the thing that really, I think, throws a real wrinkle into this. For the last couple of years, you took that away from certain people and the ability to do that. And those jobs now are even going to be limited because you're oh, well, we're just going to stay away from the sign stealing. Anything that you're good at, even if it's intuitive, I'm like, that's the thing that kind of bothers it for me. It just really, the integrity of the game is altered.
When it first came out, I'm not one that when something like this comes out, when a story breaks to this magnitude, and it wasn't just a random tweet by some person, but when there's an actual story that comes out, then I'm probably going to be on the side of believing it.
Right.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
Whether it's all 100% accurate, it's a portion of it is true.
There's an element
The
of it,
thing that surprised me on this whole deal with the Houston Astros was that how culpable the entire organization was. Maybe not the head owner himself, but the fact that we now know GM on down, from GM to player and every level in between, there was some sort of they knew about it.
Yeah,
no, it's kind of funny that some of the pitchers say, well, I was in the bullpen.
Right.
I didn't know. Come on, give me a break.
Everybody knew. I don't care what you got going on.
But I mean, but here's the thing. They are literally hitting a trash can, right? That's what's being reported, is that in 17 at times there were some signals where they would hit a trash can that recognized either fastball or breaking ball. How can the catcher not pick up on that? How does the umpire how does the other team, the first baseman, who's closest to the dugout,
and pick
or
up
the
on
pitchers even? I know there was one pitcher that came out and said he did hear the trash can and called the catcher to the mound, and they changed the signals because he could tell. But like, how does that get by without so many people being alerted? And I mean, how does somebody not say with a microphone in their locker room, if you're the pitcher, hey, I heard them hitting a trash can,
right? Like, let's get this going. Let's bring this to light.
It's amazing to me how hush hush it was for so long.
I know. I wonder that too, and that's what makes me say, and why I haven't commented on it too much, is my last year was in 16, so it's hard to say with the advancements of technology and cameras and different things, is maybe that was so norm in the big leagues. It was just teams had different variations of it, and maybe the Astros were just taking it a little further, because they did say that there was like an algorithm that they had, and that their front office was passing it down to the players and stuff. So it's hard for me to comment on, but yeah, it seems so fishy to be like, and I'm thinking the trash can thing. The only thing that I'm thinking is teams were betting that they were going to mess up, like that. Hey, look, let them do that. Let them think they have our signs. They're going to mess up eventually. There's 40,000 people here. They're not going to hear it. They can't hear that. It sounds. That's the only thing that I can think. Or like I said, that the Astros were that advanced and they had that much information or that much of a system in place that they were so, just so much better at everybody.
Here's the other thing too. My thought on it is that if you're an opposing player and you hear the trash can sound, or you think that a trash can situation's happening, and you don't immediately aren't like alarmed to the point where you just run to the first microphone you find,
right,
or call the league office, it means maybe other teams are doing it too.
That's what I mean.
It must mean that there's enough cheating at that time going on to where this isn't so egregious.
That's what I was thinking.
That's scary, and it makes sense because what we were hearing is that at that time in the 2017 season, that teams were calling the office of the Major League Baseball a lot, complaining about this or that, or
really?
Alleged allegations that were going on, and so to the point where they actually put out a letter in August or September of that year, basically to all the teams saying, hey, if we find that you're cheating, signals, whatever, we're going to come down on you harshly. Wow. So that's the justification that the Major League Baseball is given to the harsh penalties, is that, wait, this continued even after our warning.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't know there was a warning. So is that what Bauer is all up in arms about? I've literally tried to remove myself from Bauer just because
see what we're talking about by downloading the free Watch 104.5 ESPN mobile app. We are 104.5 ESPN.
I've been telling everybody,
Right.
So
I think definitely enough teams had complained to Major League Baseball to where they were getting all these reports from different people, not just about the Astros.
Right,
I think it was just a lot of finger pointing in general that at that time. And so Major League Baseball came out towards the end of the season with a letter to everybody saying, cut it out.
Yeah.
And if we find that you did do this, if this continues, you're gonna be in serious trouble.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
So when it did continue, that's why they've come down so harshly.
Yeah.
Do you believe that players should have been penalized? Because obviously the coaches and former players that are now managers were affected. People lost their job, but no current players were affected.
I think 100% they should have. I hate to say that because a lot of them are my peers and friends and stuff like that, but I think what Altuve said in their apology, speech or whatever, he said, I am responsible for not stopping it. And that's, even if you weren't partaking in it, you had the ability to know what was going on and know how advanced that system is. That was beyond somebody sitting in a dugout and saying, this guy wiggles his glove twice and we're going to figure out our own system to get it there, so I think there should have been some repercussions of that, especially since managers were losing jobs and getting fined and so many different things. So like I said, you can have all the information you want. There's a million scouting reports that players don't use. They could have, so the excuse of, it was in the scouting report, they were just telling us I was doing my job. I don't like that. I don't buy it. I think that there should have been some responsibility taken more than an apology. But that's not my job. It's out of my description. And how long and how much and whether it was fines or games or, taking awards away, that's not my thing. But I think players should have been suspended.
The NCAA, right? Reggie Bush, they took his Heisman away when he found he was cheating. There are former teams that technically in the record books they had to forfeit all those games and forfeit. I mean, hey, you look at the Fab Five, their Final Four banners are down or whatever. but you know, and those
that
things
doesn't seem real to me though. That bad.
Those things don't really make a difference.
Right.
But honestly, it would hurt the Astros if they had to turn around and hand that trophy back.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Pull it out of the office
yes.
and hand those trophies back and erase you from the record books. I mean, that may not seem like a bunch of, we've already had the parade and everybody's got their bonuses and everybody's got their rings.
Right.
So it may not seem like a big deal, but it would be.
So
it'd be like the Black Sox scandal type
100%.
Like you're on that team.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
So, but, you know, I agree with you. There should have been something. I don't know what. And I know that the Players Association cut the deal with MLB so that basically their players could testify, not testify, but answer the investigation's questions without any repercussion.
Right.
And so probably MLB learned how this all went down a little easier than they would have had they not cut that deal, because people would have been talking.
Yeah, I get it. And somebody had to have been salvaged, you know, and somebody had to wear it for the most part. So I get it.
Does it bother you either way, buzzer versus trash can? So there's alleged allegations that a couple of the players actually had buzzers under their uniforms in postseason because it was so loud they couldn't hear the trash can. Does the buzzer, like, you know, if on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being egregious, the trash can's a 7 or 8, is a buzzer worse in your opinion?
Yes, 100% for me. Because exactly what you just alluded to, it was too loud, so we couldn't hear. Guess what? That's an element of the game that is real. So you're cheating once you take that out of the equation. You're basically, you know, so to me, that's 100%.
A whole nother level of cheating.
Of cheating. That's you're not just cheating, but you're implementing a system to beat the cheat. You know, like that's where it was like, all right, this is too much, and that's really aggressive for me.
How crazy is it, the whole tattoo? As a guy who's got many a tattoo,
I know, right?
How crazy is it, the whole tattoo, no tattoo on, you know, when it comes to Altuve? I mean, it's, you know, it's almost like, come on, you know, there's a picture of him somewhere from that date,
exactly
prior to the postseason of 17, where, okay, do we have a tattoo or not?
Yeah, can we see some facts on that?
Right.
Like, yeah, exactly. Can we see some documentation of when the you know, like, so the story is a great story that Correa told, and you're 100% right. I just want to see some previous stuff. Like, let me see the removal, or let me see the botched tattoo first. You know, like, so I think it's interesting, and dude, I'll tell you what, like, Correa's story was really interesting to me with Ken Rosenthal, and I actually believed him for a lot of the Altuve stuff, you know, and then the tattoo thing, I was like, just made me tilt my head. I'm like,
the tattoo gate was a little bit weird, and the thing that I don't understand when it comes to the whole, whenever these scandals happen, and we've seen it in our lifetime, right? Whenever, just be honest, the cover up is always worse than the allegation or the crime or whatever. If
and the
Barry
brushback.
Bonds or Mark McGwire would just say, yeah, you know, I did creatine, I did all that, wasn't against the rules at the time, you know, was trying to get an advantage, had a bad back, was trying to, like, just do it. You know, but the cover up and the lie is always going to get you worse.
Well, I mean, you look at Andy Pettitte and Roger Clemens, right? They were doing the same exact thing. Andy Pettitte came out, I apologize, I'm sorry, like, boom. I haven't heard one word about Andy Pettitte since then. And every year, every time the Hall of Fame comes up, it's Roger Clemens, right? Like, and it is. I always think, hey, admit your mistake, take responsibility for your. That's why
Palmeiro, another guy who, you know, denied, then eventually it comes out and he has to, you know,
it just looks so bad on your character too, right? Like Palmeiro, all that stuff comes out, and then all this other stuff follow up comes out about his character, or at least in baseball world, right? Like you get all that bad name, and then all the other stuff off the field starts coming out about your character and about your personality, and then it's like your whole name is tainted, dude. Just admit, dude, you did something, you made a wrong, poor judgment. Human beings do that.
2022 is the last year that Barry Bonds will be on the ballot for the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, eventually, at some point down the road, he can get in on a Veterans Committee vote. Right. This is 2020 coming up.
Yep.
He's got 3 more years, basically. Do you think he will get in, or it'll have to be a Veterans Committee pick at some point?
I'm torn. I think he'll get in. I do think he'll get in.
On the initial ballot in the next 3 years?
I think so. I just think that, especially with this scandal now, people are just so open and I don't know what the right word, tolerant, accepting, I guess, of mistakes. And I just think that his skill level and like the ability to hit the baseball, see the baseball, and do the things that he did, even though you're on steroid, like whatever you're doing, I think that is just going to wane. I don't know.
Does Barry Bonds deserve to be in your opinion, before Pete Rose?
No.
So Pete deserves to be in
I think first. Pete goes in before, for me, personally. If I was voting.
Which is more egregious, betting while you're the manager and then lying about it for years, 15 years or whatever after, or actually taking a performance-enhancing drug for years while you're playing.
I think the performance-enhancing, just because it really taints the integrity of the game, whereas the manager and
they haven't been able to prove, even though there are speculations that he did bet against his team. And the way he supposedly bet against his team was, I'm going to lay off that game.
Right.
You know, he didn't say, I'm going to bet $100 on the Reds to lose when he was the manager. He just always bet when he thought they were going to cover or win.
Exactly.
And he didn't bet when they were going to lose. It's kind of the same thing. You're telling the bookies what's up, and they can make their plays accordingly.
It's definitely the same thing, 100%. Yeah. But as far as the money down on the win, I'm like, okay, well, it's just one of those things. You're not in the game, but you are affecting the game. But it's more, I don't know. I guess the Barry Bonds things feel so real to me, and maybe it's more, I watched Barry Bonds growing up, you know, and I feel a little bit more connected. Yeah, exactly, connected to it. So it was like, damn, like he really was doing that, you know, like. Yeah. And so I think maybe that's more of an emotional connection for me, because I didn't actually physically watch Pete Rose play like while I was growing up. And I guess it's easier for me to accept that, you know. I don't know, but that's what about you? What do you think?
I think Pete should be in.
Yeah, me too.
Because again, you know, what he did as a manager is awful, and it shouldn't have been done. And the guys, you know, Pete Rose is just his own worst enemy. He's kind of a jerk guy, and he just rubs everybody wrong, and he won't, you know, he sort of admitted now, 15 years after the fact. Yeah. But I think as long as the commissioner, Fay Vincent, is alive, who was the commissioner back then, and the investigator, these are two people that know more about this topic than anyone on the earth, on the planet, other than Pete.
Right.
And while they're alive and they have a good relationship with MLB front office, they probably will not reinstate Pete Rose. So unfortunately, I do think he gets in the Hall of Fame. I think it'll be after he passes away, which is sad to say.
Yeah, a shame.
He's Anthony Ranaudo, of course, former LSU baseball player and Major League Baseball pitcher. We come back, we'll talk a little bit about a new project he's got going on. You know, he's all ripped and in shape. He's going to tell you why. You can be a part of it. And then also we'll talk a little LSU baseball. The Tigers won 4 games this past weekend against teams that I think Anthony and I and Musso and Paul O'Neill could have beaten. So we didn't learn a whole lot about the Tigers. We'll learn more this week when they take on South Alabama and then play 3 games over at the Ole Miss Rebels. We'll talk about LSU when we return. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears. It's the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough Sports Shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rantz here with you, along with Anthony Ranaudo. College baseball season is in full effect, and this coming weekend, SEC action starts up. LSU will be on the road to take on Mike Bianco and the Ole Miss Rebels, who have a really good team. Heck, I mean, everybody in the SEC is good. You know, I was talking to some scouts who said they think the Friday night starters 1 through 14 are as good a Friday night starters as they've ever had in the SEC. So
that's
Tigers are going to see some thunderbolt arms throughout this season. How How much have you had a chance to see? Have you been to the games or watched some games?
Yeah, I came out opening weekend and watched the games on TV for sure. I've really paid attention to the pitching staff this year. Like, I'm kind of close with a few of the guys that are
Who in
on the squad.
particular are you kind of close with?
Yeah, Jaden Hill is one of my kind of like good. I consider him a friend now. You know, we're developing a good friendship. Really smart, cerebral kid, and he's.
So you're the reason
he's very motivated. No, not at all. Not at all. That kid is amazing.
I mean, he's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. He's just so fun to watch. But just the way he thinks, the way he approaches the game, the way he approaches his craft, the way he approaches life, I really respect it. And it started just reaching out, just, hey, if you ever need anything, I'm here. And he just started asking questions. Then he was asking me about his diet and like losing weight, gaining. I'm like, bro, you're good. Just do what you're doing. Just be you. You're killing it. Like that kind of stuff. So
Jaden Hill, I feel like he could play any sport he wants and be good.
Me too.
Right?
100%. I told him that. Yeah. Well, I think he had a football scholarship, right, or something. And yeah, he wanted to. That's why I'm so excited to see him on the mound. And I told him, because we were talking about starting versus relieving and different things. And I was like, dude, if you just really focus in on your craft, there's a chance you could be in the big leagues next year with your stuff. Like there really is. And he has that ability. It's just a matter of how he develops. How consistent he gets with his off-speed stuff and his put-away pitches, and then controlling the fastball. And then I think just reps as a pitcher, and somebody that's been a two-sport athlete their whole life, it's hard to focus on baseball, especially pitching.
What did he hurt last spring?
I think it was his shoulder. Yeah, shoulder. He had some elbow stuff or shoulder stuff.
How much was there a part of it that he could have possibly pitched, but it was just out of an abundance of caution that he didn't throw last year?
It's weird. He's never dove into that with me personally, but I think my take on it is he was a young kid and LSU was protecting him, and he was probably subconsciously protecting himself, especially with the way the year was going at the end of the year and everything. I think it was probably just being cautious and being a kid and understanding what true injury and pain and soreness, was. It was his first adjustment to college baseball. So I think that plays a factor in it. And then I've just learned this throughout my career, and I'm sure you did too, the difference of when to push through an injury, when not to, and stuff like that. So I know we were all frustrated as fans because we wanted to see him out there last year, but I think the things that he's doing this year is proving to everybody that it was worth the wait, and hopefully he'll be a real impact guy for us down the stretch.
This past weekend against UMass Lowell, he went 4 innings through a perfect 4 innings. Didn't have the big strikeouts you would think he would have against UMass. He only had 3. And the velocity was all over the place. Like I saw him throw an 89 in there. He had 89, but then he gusted 97.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway on all that?
Again, I think that's consistent with a 19 or a 20-year-old not really knowing his body. I think there's times where I'm sure he's in a prime position to throw the baseball, and that's when the ball comes out 97. And then there's times where maybe he has a little instability or he's rushing or whatever it is, and he's behind the baseball and it's 91, So I think those are just inconsistencies. That's what I'm saying is, like, as he gets reps and he keeps figuring out his body and understanding himself as a man and develops into the pitcher that we think he can, I think you'll start seeing him comfortably sit from 93 to 97, 98 pretty consistently.
Do you anticipate that before we get to the end of the regular season, he will be in the starting mode?
It's weird because I hope not, honestly. It's weird. I know from a career standpoint.
Why do you want him to stay in the bullpen at least this year?
Yeah, I think from a development standpoint, I think especially when there's such expectations, right? Throwing him and being the Saturday guy and expecting him to go 5 to 8 innings or 5 to 7 innings or 5-6 innings consistently is a lot of expectations for a 19, 20-year-old kid, where you tell a guy, hey, you have electric elite stuff. Go out there and throw it for 1 to 2 innings. Give me your best shot. And let the chips fall into place, especially with guys that are raw. Like even with Zach Hess, that's why I loved him as a reliever, honestly. And him and I have talked about this when he was changing as a starter. There's something to be said of simplicity for pitching to me, and especially if you're a guy that throws rocket fuel and sometimes can spray and pray, miss and is trying to figure out their command. I think it takes a lot of pressure off the mindset of a pitcher to say, hey, look, simplify this. Let's go throw 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings, at a time. Work your way up, build your way up. And then if we figure out, oh, man, you're mixing 3 pitches really well and you're facing the lineup 2 or 3 times, all right, cool, let's try this for 5 innings, and then go from there. So from a development standpoint, especially coming off an injury, and I think he's a weapon at the end of the game. Cole and him combo is really, really nice,
Sure.
So I don't know. From a standpoint of that perspective, I like that. And I think we have enough arms in the starting rotation-wise to hold that.
I find it hilarious you saying this because I can't imagine when, in 2008, them coming to you and going, no, Anthony, you're not going to be a starter. Give us the ball. I mean,
100%.
No, we want you to be in the bullpen. It's good for you. Trust me. You would have been like, you're crazy.
Yeah, I'd be like, get out of here.
Exactly.
No shot.
So, I mean, you're sitting here telling them the same thing.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. And that's why I remember, I wish somebody would have maybe grabbed me when I was here and said the same thing too. But I guess maybe it's wisdom, just looking back on things the way. But I also think about this, and I'm going to ask your opinion on this, but the role of a reliever is changing too. So they're more important. We're figuring out at the end of the game, even with the system that some teams are implementing in the big leagues of starting a reliever in the beginning of a game, So I think the role of a reliever is becoming so much more important. So I think guys are kind of accepting of those roles. And you're seeing at the big leagues, the relievers are getting paid before the starters now. So. Yeah.
Well, I think in his case, we're talking about Jaden Hill. In his case, you go back to the maybe the Lewis Coleman, the way he was used, Bradford, the way he was used, and some guys that were in the Skip Bertman regime, which is, it's not about, it's the 8th, now you pitch.
Right.
It's about, okay, you're the first guy in if we have a lead.
Right.
Whether the starter leaves in the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, it doesn't really matter. And I think that's how I think LSU probably will use Jaden Hill. Is if we have a lead, he's available, it's a tight game, put him in there, because he does have the ability to go 4 innings and no runs and win you the game like he did at Texas when he went 7, 8, 9 and want to hang on for a 4-3 victory. I think it's different. You don't limit his ability to just throw 1 inning.
Right.
He probably is getting to the point with his endurance to where you have the confidence he can go 5.
Yep.
And if that's in relief, it's in relief. If it's a starter, it's a starter.
Yeah.
I just know that the way the seasons normally play out, you're going to have an injury.
Yep.
Somebody's going to feel something and going to miss a start or 2.
1,000%.
And the way he just has completed, he went from 2 innings to 2 2/3 to 3 to 4. The way he's progressing, and if as long as he's feeling fine. And the sleeve will tell him,
exactly.
They'll put that electronic sleeve
that
on there, the magical sleeve, and it'll give him the readings. If all is fine, I just can't imagine a scenario in a month from now where he's not
throwing 6 innings.
Let's say Labus has 2 bad ones in a row, Coach.
I was just going to say.
And you're sitting there, waiting to put him in the game, and you don't get to him one weekend. I mean, that's going to be hard not to.
Pencil him in there to start that game. Now, I think Maneri wants that too. I think we're seeing that as he extends and he throws 4 innings in relief. You're probably scratching your head like, what? Why wouldn't we wait, Friday, Sunday, So I think Coach Maneri's probably working that. And I think, dude, you've seen, if you have the 1-2 combo as a starting pitcher, that's what kind of leads to success and getting you to Omaha. And then anything happens in Omaha when you have a 1-2 combo like that. So, never know. I think one of the things that especially this year is a perfect example. Again, everybody gets so up in arms the first 12, 15, 20 games of the year. Not up in arms, but what are we going to do here? It's like, dude, I don't even pay attention to the first 20 games because you get to know the guys, you get to know the names, but that's not the same lineup at the end of the year as it is. The rotation's usually never the same. So I like to see guys and get to know them in the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year, everybody kind of figures out their roles towards the end of SEC, SEC tournament.
I feel like I've said this, that the 6 that LSU has, when you talk about Cole Henry, and a little bit of concern with Cole Henry out of abundance of caution. He only went 4 innings on Friday. He gave up 5 hits in a run. They took him out after only about 60 pitches. And according to what we're hearing, they didn't, it was just out of caution. It gives me concern because we saw this story last year, and we know that Cole Henry's father's a big influence, and we know that a lot of things off the field are an influence, and sometimes Cole Henry may miss a start when it doesn't jive with what the LSU coaches are thinking.
Right.
So this is a to-be-determined story and something to watch with Cole Henry. The fact that he only threw 4 innings when he could have easily gone out there for a 5th, gotten, the win and maybe 75 pitches.
Right.
The fact that he didn't go out there tells me that they're concerned maybe even a little more than they're leading on. So that's something to watch. But with Marceau and Labus looking like they're going to pound the strike zone and give you a chance to be in every game, I like what Beck gives you. It's a little wild sometimes, but they don't hit him.
And his presence on the mound, it stands for itself. Yep.
You like what obviously Hill gives you, and you like what Devin Fontenot gives you. Who's one of the better relievers. That 1 through 6, I think, is a top
strong.
5 1 through 6 in the country.
I agree.
And so you don't need a whole lot of offense if those guys are healthy and pitching well.
Yeah, and then if you get some other guys to come up, step up, if you have throughout the year. And that's the thing that's always exciting for me is what guy is going to step up in what role. Every year it seems that There is a guy that surprises you that you didn't in the beginning of the year expect. So I think that's always fun for me, and I think there would be 2 or 3 guys on the staff this year that you come out of nowhere and they'll be defining roles at some point or another, and their success is gonna determine where they fit into the rotation, and that usually alleviates a lot of stress from a lot of the starters and stuff. But I agree with you. There's stuff with Cole, is concerning because you want your Friday night guy to be that horse, to be that guy, to eat up those innings, so you have the bullpen available on Saturdays and Sundays. So I think that story will continue to play out, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I want to say in 2009, didn't you go 5 or more every start that year?
I think I did, yeah.
I think it was like 15, 16 starts.
Until Omaha, until Omaha opening day or whatever, and I went like 3 or 4 or something. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's huge. About that. That's all right. I'll throw myself under the bus for you. But yeah, no, it's huge. And then you even saw how that played a role in Omaha. Thank God everybody picked me up, and Nolan Cain had some great innings that were like so valuable to us in Omaha because he just was a stopper and kept us in games and allowed us to eat up innings, so that way I could recover a little bit, and then luckily I bounced back and had a couple good games. But that put us in a hole in the beginning part of Omaha, especially if you're trying to compete and you only have 7 or 8 arms. You know how it goes, and so I think that's a huge story. And then but I do like that Marceau and Labus are guys that pound the zone, so you will have that ability. They'll even if Marceau, yeah, exactly,
they're going to have some 7-8 inning games for you. Maybe even throw a CG in there along the way. Yeah. They're not every weekend, but
but they're in the mix to do that.
They're going to pitch into the 7th a lot. Both of those guys, and for not being the Friday guy, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Pretty good. He's Anthony Ranaudo. I'm Ronnie Rantz. You're watching Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino. Some great concerts and things coming up over at LeBear's the next couple of months. All you got to do is go to Ticketmaster.com to get more information. Are you a golfer?
I'm not, unfortunately. I wish I was.
We got to get into that.
I know, dude.
It's a lifetime sport.
I know. Well, everybody said I would be good at it because I got the long levers, but that's the problem. I can't find golf clubs that fit me to start it, so I get frustrated.
Got to get the customs. We got to get. All right. When we come back, we're gonna let Anthony tell us a little bit about what's going on over at F45, new project here in town that he and former LSU teammate of his, Bo Didier, are involved in. Also, for you golfers out there, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Annual Golf Classic is April 5th and 6th over at the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles. It's going to be a fantastic event. Go to lasportshall.com to get the information. We hope to see you there April 5th and 6th at the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles. We'll be back right after this. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Everybody, Ronnie Rantz, Anthony Ranaudo with you, talking a little working out, which is, something that I don't really know a whole lot about. Back in the day, where I'll tell you a funny story. I did my work, whatever the coach or the trainer told us to do, and then he stood there and watched us. I did it. But it wasn't a big extra guy, as most people aren't shocked by that. And I remember one of the last times I made this joke, one of the last times I was on a bus in my life in the minor leagues, and I knew that was it. I said, guys, if you ever see me as a pitcher, you're basically a marathon runner who occasionally pitches. And that didn't bode well for my body type. And I remember sitting on the bus, and I told the guys as we were coming into the clubhouse, I said, listen, if you ever see me running down the street on the road, you ever pass me on a car and you see me running down the road, call the police because someone's chasing me.
It's definitely not my choice.
That's the only way you'll ever see me. And I don't miss the running the lakes. I don't miss River Road runs and all that from LSU days, especially back when they had the cow manure and stuff, when the cows were out grazing across from the vet school. That was, that'll wake you up. But you're involved in a great new project. There's 3 former Tigers, former teammates of yours involved with it, F45 in Baton Rouge.
Yep.
And I saw, it's just funny, I saw online that Mark Wahlberg is a big F45 guy involved in the corporation as well. He believes in the product. How did you get involved, and where is it? And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. Well, the Mark Wahlberg thing actually was the selling point for me. So I was seeing a girl out in Texas, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm starting this F45 thing, boutique." I was like, "Oh, great." Give her the thumbs up and kind of roll your eyes and like, "Oh, it's good for you. You're independent. You're doing your thing." And then I started hearing her talk more about it. She was like, functionality, 45 minutes, efficient, heart rate. I was like, it's interesting, innovative, technology, TVs. Started looking into it. And so the F stands for functional, 45 stands for 45 minutes. So it caters to the executive, the professional, the individual that understands that, workouts and healthy living is important, but doesn't really value the time that it takes to do that, or realizes they don't have the time to do that. So this 45 minutes, you get in and out the door in 45 minutes. It's all functional, so it applies to everyday lifting. So you're actually lifting weights. We're 3 days a week resistance training, so that's actually weightlifting. And then we do 3 days a week of cardio, and then there's a 7th day that's like a hybrid of both. And so the Mark Wahlberg investment is what actually sold me. The girl that I was seeing had been talking about it. You should get involved. You should get involved. It'd be great for Baton Rouge. She was opening one in San Antonio, which is a similar market to here. And then I read that Mark Wahlberg had just invested and came in, and they valued the company at $450 million with their investment, his investment group. And I was like, oh, this is a game changer. I started looking into it a little bit more, understanding a little bit more of the details, understanding the marketing of it, the technology platform, the heart rate. And I was like, man, this is kind of on brand with a lot of things that I talk about, that I'm involved in. I'm big into movement science and stuff and how that relates to the brain. This is a mind-body connection. I was like, this could be fun. And then once I found out that F45 relies heavily on community, I was sold, because Baton Rouge, LSU baseball is one of those things. I always felt like I could have done a better job when I was here too, being more involved in the community, and thankful and grateful to an audience and fan base like LSU baseball. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to give back. And at worst, it's a way to bring a healthy lifestyle into a community that isn't traditionally involved in health and wellness. And it was a way for me to be involved in the community.
So it's located right there on Blue Bonnet, near Highland.
That
next
new Lit and Izzo's.
Next to Lit Pizza, one of my favorite places in the world.
You want to hear something? I'm sorry to cut you off here, but this is the most Louisiana thing ever. So we signed our lease, right? And we told him, hey man, the owner of the building, whatever you do, please we know burger joints are super popular right now, and ice cream, like they're very fat. Please don't put that right next to us. Anything in the world, salad, smoothies, anything, Both sides of us, it's probably going to be a burger joint and an ice cream place.
No way.
Like both, not just one. Burger joint, ice cream. And then the ice cream place, best of both worlds. It's not just ice cream. It's All-American Cookie Company and Margot Slab. Combo.
They got one in Jubin Crossing, one of my favorite places in the world.
Oh, it's delicious. Don't get me wrong, but it's so Louisiana. It's like ice cream, cookies, workout.
Totally. Celebrate your 45-minute workout by getting a cookie on the way home.
It's balance.
Hey, at the end of the day, that there's always going to be customers around you.
Exactly.
You can just stand outside and go, how's that cookie taste? Come see me tomorrow.
You want to burn it off? Here you go.
Right.
You want to burn it off? We're only 45 minutes. Come on in.
That's funny. Well, Bo Didier, of course, is over there on a day-in, day-out basis. Former LSU Tiger, who prior to this year was the last Tiger ever to hit a homer in his first collegiate at bat.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Doty.
Yep.
Cade Doty hit a homer this year, first, but prior to that, it was 09, 10, whatever, when Bo hit a homer in his first ever college at bat.
Yeah.
But Nick Pontiff's, of course, also involved as an investor, and a former Tiger, and that's got to be a big a lot of fun, right?
Oh, dude, it's so fun, and that's what I say. Like I woke up this morning at 4 a.m. and it's the easiest 4 a.m. wake up call in the world, and I actually am enjoying this F45 more than I ever thought. I thought I was going to get it off the ground, start it, and Nick and I both said we would do this only if Bo was the face running it, because you know Bo, he's so personable. Right. He'd been in business development, medical device sales for so long, just because he's so personable. And boutique, gym fitness concepts, you need to keep people in the building. So how are you going to do that? We're going to create a better customer experience. So Bo was our guy, and yeah, man, and I'm having more fun just going there, hanging out with Bo every single day. And our head trainer, Carrie Bourgeois, is actually Joey Bourgeois' wife. She used to train at Traction. Yeah. So it's a really cool family. We went out to dinner the other night with Joey, Carrie, Bo. It's just fun.
So how does it work as far as their classes? I guess it's on the hour type of thing.
Yep.
When is it 24 hours? I mean, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you sign up for, right now we have the trial, but if you're a member, you sign up, then you go log into an app. We have a GlowFox app. You go in there, a whole schedule is on there. Right now we're offering 5:15 classes, and we're offering morning and evening classes. So we go 5:15, 6:15, 7:15, 9:15 in the morning. Once we open up full time, we'll offer a lunchtime class if anybody wants to come in, and then we offer 2 evening classes at 5:30 and 6:45. So you go in the app, you basically decide which one you want to go to, as long as the list isn't full, because usually we have a capacity, of how many people can work out in the class. You go schedule your class, and you show up in the door, and
so as classes fill up, you'll set up more time.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Very
exactly.
simple.
Yeah. So as people,
during the day, is there personalized one-on-one individual training if somebody desires that?
So that's the thing that I think is going to separate us. Where F45 doesn't traditionally offer that, but I think the community aspect of Baton Rouge would really enjoy that. So we offer Kerry to work one-on-one during the day with lunch if anybody wants to reach out and work with her. But we also do open gyms on Saturdays and Sundays, where after our regular scheduled classes, you guys can come in and ask questions, work one-on-one with Kerry. We understand that 45 minutes, everything's moving pretty quick. You can't work one-on-one with a trainer, so you might be intimidated too. You might be a little nervous about some of the movement patterns. So we have an open forum basically where you can ask questions, get corrective exercises, and understand.
Learn how to do everything first.
Exactly.
Before you jump in there.
Have a little confidence before you go into the class of 25 strangers, So, but we open it up. It's pretty community feel. Everybody really, there's no judgment. It's fun. There's no mirrors too, so nobody feels embarrassed or is worried about the way people are looking or looking at them.
And you go at your own pace. That's important. Yeah. And look, Bo's such a likable guy too. Guys, girls, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Bo Didier is going to work with you. And like I said, that's the cool thing too. And that's something people need to do. If you join a gym, go there before you start taking the classes and learn how to do the movements. And then that way you'll feel more confident.
Yeah, and also prevent against injury. We don't want anybody coming into the gym and trying these new movement patterns that they've never done and then have a back injury and never come back to us and go tell everybody that they got hurt at F45, So we want to make sure that people feel comfortable, feel confident, and get the best out of their money that they're spending, And I think Bo and I truly feel that. We like the holistic approach to everything. And if F45 is not for you, we'd be happy to consult with you about somewhere else, So I think that's the true thing that people get.
So you've been obviously working out, you and Bo. I mean, this will be great for your own personal workout all the time. Last time we had you on the show, you were talking about how you were working on a comeback and throwing bullpens, and things went well in the fall, and you were hopeful that things may develop in 2020. Give us an update on where that's at.
Yeah, so I actually had a really good workout in the fall, and I was up to 96, 97 in the bullpen indoors. I actually sat pretty comfortably, 94, 96. But the 2 weeks after that, I actually had some rib mobility issues. And the doctor actually thinks I might have a thoracic outlet syndrome. Have you heard of that? It's basically where one of your ribs is a little displaced and you're not getting circulation to your muscles. Okay. So it kind of causes
Is that the rib removal surgery type deal that who just had that?
It's becoming more common with pitchers now.
Zach Arnold, the freshman, and someone else had that like a year or two ago on the team as well, a pitcher, I believe.
Yeah, that's what a lot of pitchers have it, because if you're, and it causes, basically I'm having a lot of impingement in my trap. It's really uncomfortable. So I just had to put the ball down for a little while. I'm doing some physical therapy. I'm working with a remote training company called Tread Athletics out in North Carolina. So they're helping me go through some corrective exercises.
So you've made the decision, obviously, not to have the surgery, because then that would sideline you for a long period of time. And you're going with a rehab approach and giving it a shot to see where you feel in a few months.
Yeah, I'm probably going to pick a deadline at like mid-April or something like that. And if I'm not back then I'll just put it behind me and move on. But if I'm good in mid-April, I'll try to sign somewhere in maybe like a independent ball, somewhere to try to get
starts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then see where it goes from there. But if I'm throwing 94 to 97 again with better spin rate and a good curveball, I believe I could find a spot in.
So while right now, currently, you're actually tossing.
I'm tossing.
Are you doing bullpens or not yet?
Not right now, just because I'm building back up. I had to take some time off, did some rehab, so I'm doing 2 or 3 times a week of physical therapy, and I just started tossing again. So.
And when we get to the bullpen session time, is Micah Gibbs the guy?
Yeah,
do we get him back there?
Yeah,
like the old times.
Yeah, but he doesn't even catch sometimes now. Now he's like my analytics coach. He's my mechanics
got the
coach
and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll grab a different catcher. It's Trent, my boy Trent Forshag's been catching me a lot. So yeah, he's been he'll probably be my guy, and then Micah's been actually with the analytics and the biomechanics.
I'll tell you a funny story about Trent Forshag. Trent, of course, played at Jesuit. He came to LSU as a bullpen catcher his freshman year, then converted to being the head student equipment manager for the LSU baseball team currently. And his dad, Brett Forshag, is a great guy, played a couple years at LSU in the mid-'80s and has been in the hotel business for years and years and years, and currently works at the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, but he's moving over to the Post Oak Hotel in Houston. Have you been there?
Yeah.
The place is amazing.
Chris Matoulis had his wedding there, dude. I was like, this isn't real. Like, this is.
The Post Oak Hotel's been open 2 years for Tito, who owns the Golden Nugget and all that. Landry Seafood Company and all the other restaurants. He opened it, and it's amazing. It's a 5-star. It's right by the Galleria. I recommend you stay there. You need to save your coins though. Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I just want a $12 omelet. Nope, you're getting a $28 salmon omelet. Yeah. But anyway, but it's fantastic. And I stayed there for a couple weeks ago when LSU was in the Shriners Classic, and Brett got me like a discounted $300 room rate. But what was funny was because Brett's involvement, he had me considered a VIP guest, which basically means that you're on this VIP list, and the workers there, the front desk people, or concierge, they see who the VIPs are, so that if you book a reservation or you're walking around, Mr. Rantz, how are you? Which by the way didn't happen one time. But
let's go post.
But what was funny was he sent me the list of the VIPs. And they literally include your headshot. So they go online, like somebody in marketing goes online. They include a headshot of each person along with the name. So mine was like my headshot, Ronnie Rantz, President, CEO, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Yeah. The guy above me was Bobby Brown, the singer.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Whitney Houston's ex-husband, my prerogative, all that. The guy below me on the sheet was Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, my God. That's good company, dude. So Look at you with the VIPs.
Ronnie Rantz sliding right in the middle. Oscar De La Hoya and Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
And then there was like, the sheik of somewhere was below that, and the president of some country below that.
I was going to say, VIP on that list there, they must have been treating you right.
Needless to say, I kept the list because I'm going to show my buddies.
Evidence, I have it framed in my house.
Whenever they give me a hard time, they're like, hey, were you ever VIP at the Post Oak, big guy? But you brought up Forshag. I had to tell that story.
That's awesome.
By the way, Micah Gibbs what is he doing? Like, I didn't know he was this mad scientist.
Oh,
what has he gotten into?
He's I think his director of development or whatever his title is, but he basically runs the baseball performance lab over at Marucci. Mm-hmm. So their new concept is bat fitting. So there was a guy named Liam Mucklow from Canada who started the golf lab and basically did golf club
analysis
fitting.
Of your swing,
to
give you the correct club to use for golf.
So basically, he's doing that for baseball bats, but they're using force plates metrics and like the force that you push off the ground, how that correlates with your biomechanics and the swing. Like Mike is a genius. It's a different language that I don't speak, And
I just worry about. There's so much information now across the board, whether it's pitching, whether it's hitting, that you can get bogged down in the minutia. And at the end of the day, like for example, we can make an out and come back to the dugout and go, yeah, but the swing speed was good, and the launch angle was good,
exit velocity,
and but it's still an out.
Right, it's an out. Yeah. You didn't do anything good for baseball.
You're still hitting 150. You know what I mean? Like, so I wonder too much about this. Too much, the rotation of the fastball up in the zone. Yeah, but the guy got a hit, or you walked him. I mean, like,
he's still so.
It's still about performance, and I just hope that we don't get too far away from that. He's Anthony Ranaudo. I'm Ronnie Rantz. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Final segment of Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's next. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome back. Final segment of Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino as visiting with Anthony Ranaudo, former LSU Tiger great and MLB pitcher. And, of course, you can check out Anthony on Mondays. What time to what time? Are you with Jay DeCoe show?
4:30 to 5, yeah.
On 107.3 Talk Radio in Baton Rouge. Check out Anthony. And how's that going? What do you guys talk about?
Yeah, so Jay, first of all, Jay's the man. I love Jay. I connected with him about 2 years ago, right when I was starting my podcast, and Tommy Talley put me in touch with him just to get my feet wet on the podcast space. And Jay kind of took me under his wing. So yeah, he got that new gig over there, and he basically just wanted it to be lifestyle, what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and we tie in on the second segment, some sort of food stuff. He's a big food guy, right. Celebrity chef. So we usually do some sort of baseball topic, and correlate that with food.
So I'll go food with you here. Yeah. As most people can tell, I'm a big foodie myself. Yeah. And he's government taco guy. We got a new development coming on Government Street. He's going to build his own standalone facility soon. Okay, first off, favorite government taco. I'm
actually going there for lunch today. Okay. I cannot wait. The Magna Carrot.
And what's
have you had that?
No.
I can't remember. It's obviously carrot based, but it's like
Is it have real meat in it?
No, there actually isn't meat in that one. Yeah, there's no meat in that one, but the
Are you
Magna
doing that
Carta,
vegan life?
No, I'm not. No,
okay.
I don't. I believe in eating meat.
Okay.
Yeah, so I haven't gone there. Are you there?
No.
I meant to, dude. You were talking about weight earlier, bro. When I first met you look great. Like compared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, compared to what? Right. Compared to bad.
But still, that's good.
But no,
progress.
we could. I'm never gonna be you. I'm never gonna be the guy that eats the chicken breast and the broccoli, but and works out 7 times a week. Yeah. But best I can do is I got about 25. I want you to help me with.
Okay.
I have 45.
Hell yeah.
We got to get to 25 off.
Let's do it.
I just want to look better than Nick Pontiff. That's all. That's my goal. That's my goal.
All right. I don't know if I can let that happen with my business partner. I own in the gym. I'm like,
he lives in New Orleans. Got a bunch of kids. There's a lot of things going on. But let me ask you this: restaurant wise in Baton Rouge, for the folks that are watching that are either passing through this area, because we're on in New Orleans and Lafayette as well, but 1 or 2 restaurants people need to go to in Baton Rouge. Give me your 2.
So for me personally, this is me speaking. If you're going to go seafood, I love Mike Anderson's because I think that was my first.
Tried and true.
Yeah, and it was my first. It was what they took me on my visit. It was my first taste of Louisiana. I had this crab plate when I went there, and I was like, I loved it. I love their oysters. My dad goes there and gets the fried oysters every time he comes into town, char-grilled oysters. Yeah. And then Rufino's is just a staple for me. I just love it. I love the combination. You can go there and get steak or whatever.
You're a loyal guy. You're like with the veteran restaurants.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go new school.
What you got? Yeah.
I'm going Soji, Coach.
Oh, dude, I do love Soji
on Government Street.
Have you done what about what is it, 5th Street or
District 5, Building 5.
Building 5. Yeah, have you done that?
Yes.
That's one of my newest ones that I like.
Love Building 5. So Soji, modern Asian fusion.
I love that
you
one
get a little sushi. They also have some non-sushi dishes. Cool vibe, cool atmosphere. Love the little tiki bar feel.
That's what I was going to say. The vibe there doesn't feel like a traditional Baton Rouge feel.
Very fresh. Yeah. So I love Soji. Been open about 1.5 years or so. Go by there. It's on Government Street. And then Building 5, new place under the overpass. So all you folks that are going like St. Patty's Day parades coming up, it's right over there next to K Street.
Yep, right
underneath.
Next to K Street,
weird spot, cool vibe, husband and wife that are like interior decorators and spent some time in San Diego. So they handpicked everything that's in there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's real fresh, kind of farm to table type food. Love it, man.
I love that. The display is awesome. Yeah, you just really feel it. Yeah, they do a really good job. The feel is good in there. I went there for lunch too, so I went to the bar area too, and it's super light during lunch. It was really good.
I'll say this
vibes.
too. They do this at dinner. They have this boneless Japanese wings that they have. Now, they are dusted or panko fried or something like that. Boneless Japanese wings with like this honey sriracha dipping sauce.
Sounds delicious.
It's fantastic.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's like there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get that anywhere in town, and I recommend it. Building 5, Soji. Those are my two.
I like that.
And
Those are good.
You'd have thought I'd have been the old school
Right?
Mike Anderson's Rufino's guy. Instead, Anthony went that way. I want to talk some LSU sports here for a minute.
Yeah.
You mentioned Hill and your relationship with him. You were at LSU, and you spent, 08 to 2010 at LSU. When you're a kid from New Jersey, and I would think you're a Nick Storrs guy, right? Because he's a big 6'6" righty from New York and everything. Did you ever envision your life would take you to where here you are, 10 years later, big part of the community, got your roots here and not really going anywhere? Like it's just crazy how life has taken you here, isn't it?
Yeah, Bo and I were talking about that the other day. Bo's from Washington too, so his mom came down, my dad was in town. It was just funny, like kind of reminiscing about that stuff. I never would have thought it, and especially even, when you're coming down and you're a baseball player growing up, you think you're going to play Major League Baseball for 20 years and they're going to rip the jersey off and you're going to do all that stuff. So it's funny to me, especially to think that I'm 30 and I'm more, involved in the community and business than I am with baseball and different stuff. So, but Baton Rouge is just so unique. I love it down here. I love the people. And it gave me my first sense of identity. I think New Jersey and basketball and baseball were big for me up there, but I didn't really know where I stood in the world. It was just a small spot in New Jersey, but when I came down to Louisiana, I figured out where I fit in, and it gave me my identity. It gave me my platform. LSU fans and baseball fans are so crazy passionate that I knew that I wanted to be down here and always just be ingrained in this. So it is wild. It's been a wild journey, but I don't think I would replace it with anything, especially even the ups and downs of my career and stuff. It's been an incredible place to call home, and I'm happy to call it home now, I'm going to
let you play a little Nostradamus here and do some predictions.
Right.
One, LSU baseball kind of gotten off to a little bit of a rocky start this year. We know they went 4-0 last week, but they didn't play anybody, so you don't really know where they're at. We'll know more after they go to Ole Miss. Offensively, though, this team has struggled, and we know that in 2007 they hit 256. That's the lowest it's been in years and years and years, and so it's kind of like, well, they hit 256, well, they hit better. Last year they hit 276, just for perspective.
Yeah.
Do you see this team? Do we think this team is what it is? I mean, they're just going to struggle offensively the rest of the year, or is there some better times ahead?
Yeah, the bats is always a funny thing for me, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think what I've seen from LSU baseball is the starting lineup in the beginning of the year is never the way that it really plays out. I think Maneri takes pride in that a little bit, in saying that the lineup's never been the same as it is opening day, as it is the last day of the year. So to me, time will tell on the bats, but I think the pitching is going to be the biggest thing. I think we do have the arms to be that team this year. I think it's just a matter of what we talked about earlier too, is guys fitting into certain roles. Is Jaden Hill going to be a starter? Is he going to be the Friday guy? Is he going to, is Cole Henry going to be able to pitch 7 or 8 innings on Friday? And I think those are going to be, who are the 2 or 3 guys that are going to step up this year and figure out their roles? Who's going to be the Devin Fontenot of 2 years ago, where all of a sudden his stuff just becomes electric and is a different guy, So I think the pitching is going to carry us, and I think the roles, the season, and the intensity of the games as SEC play goes on postseason will determine guys' roles, and I think the success of the team.
Got about a little over a minute left. What's your take on this? I think the hitting coach is the most overrated coach in the history of baseball, because of any sport. Yep. Because at the end of the day, you as an individual standing in a box with somebody 60 feet 6 inches away, and you got to get a hit. Nobody can do it for you, and really, even if you kind of know what pitch is coming, it's still tough, right? So Eddie Smith taking over for your buddy Sean Ochenko. There was a lot put on Sean. Before him, there was a lot put on.
There always is.
There's always a lot put on the coach. But at the end of the day, it's about the individual.
100%. I think a hitting coach. It should be about philosophy, I think. And again, I've never hit, and I have, but I've never been a hitter every day. I think it's more, and what I've heard from hitters is the best hitting coaches just implement the best philosophy and strategy and equip you with the best tools to hit. At the end of the day, it is about you. It's about putting the bat on the ball. And I think at the end of the day, we have some good guys, and it's just a matter of them becoming more consistent and figuring out which roles they're in. And hopefully they can just get us some runs so the pitchers can hold them off.
With 3, sometimes 4 freshmen in the starting lineup, that's low percentage that they're all going to do well. Anthony, thanks so much, man, for the time.
Always.
Go check him out at F45 on Bluebonnet. near Highland. Go see him and Bo Didier and the gang and get all ripped up like they are. All right, appreciate it. You can check them out, of course, also on Mondays on Jay Ducote from 4:30 until 5 on Talk 107.3. Have a great week, everybody. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears.
Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.